And these people's revolutions, these spontaneous people's protests, which led to the overturning of the regime in power, were invariably manipulated to bring that about. I mean, in Georgia, the so-called Rose Revolution, which involved, in a high-profile way, a man called Sharkos Valley, who then became the president, was funded by George Soros. And students were trained in large numbers in the art of civil disobedience and civil protest, which led to that. And so not only did the forces that control American society take advantage of the Georgian Revolution and turn it into yet another 51st state of the United States, they actually created the revolution in the first place, and this happened throughout.
And there's always
former Eastern European communist countries.
And David, there's always other layers. Meanwhile, Soros acts like he's against Bush, but then it turns out his funded group worked with the CIA and with Bush and McCain's advisor, who's Georgian. So again, on the surface they're fighting with each other, but behind the scenes they're not. It's like Mary Madeleines and married to George Carville. And you know,
exactly. And the thing is that I've seen people responding to this invasion of South Ossetia by Georgia, and then the Russian response, as if, hey, you know, the Americans have got to be crazy or whatever. Did they not realize Russia was going to respond like that? Of course they did. That's part of the game. It's causing this ratcheting up of the fear, the ratcheting up of the...
Yeah, that crashed the Russian stock market that was going up while ours was going down. Now theirs has been shut down for 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, these are all masks on the same face. It's a chessboard, as
Order out of chaos.
Brzezinski even wrote about.
Yes.
It's a chessboard, and we're seeing the pieces moving around. And what I would say to people is, if you think, you know, you don't like the world as it is now, well, it ain't going to stay like this. This is not the point where they wish to be and pitch their tent and say, okay, we've got control. They want to push this forward in a much more extreme way even than it is now, far more. And if it's bad now, what is it going to be like for our children and our grandchildren? They're going to have to live most of their lives in this Orwellian nightmare that is moving so fast.
They're not even going to live, David.
Cracky.
They're not even going to live. In fact, you've written about this before I was even on the scene, but I want you to get into the population plan. Open UN biological diversity assessments. Open government plans, PDDs, State Department Memorandum 200, the Royal Commission on Population. World government is only a means to an end. Let's talk about that end where they debate whether to kill 100% of the humans and then make themselves these cybernetic god creatures. That's not me, that's them, that's mainline. Or... And again, I'm not even saying that's real. That's what they believe. You know, David would say that it probably is. The point is that it's so wild what they write and say. The debate is kill everyone or kill 99% or kill down to 80%. David, talk about that. The end game, where this is going.
Well, the point I really want to get over is that, you know, I've been, you know, with this for many, many years, as you have, and in the end, we as people listening to this show and all shows like it, we have got to move from just learning more and more and more about our own prison and how it works. That's important to know. It really is. We've got to get to the point now where we say, what the heck are we going to do about it? And we have to stop being divided and ruled by the fault lines of religion and class and income bracket and culture and country, and realize that where we're going here, and the cell door is swinging, and we've just got a bit of time here to stop it crashing shut, but not if we just talk about it and shout about it. We've got to start getting organized and respond to this. And what we need is to stop cooperating with our own enslavement. We need mass peaceful non-cooperation with the system.
Here's one. Everybody.
Otherwise, we're building our own prison.
Everybody should put up a micro FM and carry radio shows like this. It's civil disobedience. We've got Northcom declaring martial law. right here in the Army Times saying regular brigades of Army troops will be in the U.S. I agree. You'll put up micros to show the slaves their prison to unlock their minds, but us at a higher level, go to the city council, say, don't be part of this. Don't be part of martial law. David, how else do we not comply? I mean, what do we do when they put a camera up by our house?
Well, in the end, we have got to peacefully resist the imposition of this enslavement. And even take a real simple level. In Britain now, you can get fined £75 for putting your trash can out on bin out on the wrong day. Now, instead of, and I hear it all the time, Alex, oh, what's the world coming to? Oh, I don't know, whatever next. I don't know, it's terrible, isn't it? And then they switch the game show on. We have got to start, all of us, whether we're Christian or Muslim or Jewish or whatever, because this prison is not for one group, it's for all of us who are not part of it.
And they play us off against each other to control us. Stay there. We're going to talk behind scenes for Infowars.com,
they do.
Stream listeners, and PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. David Icke's coming to the U.S. Check it out at DavidIcke.com. Stay with us. Okay, David, continue with examples of saying no. Continue with examples of, I mean, it starts small. Start a blog. Call into a talk show. Go to a city council. Say no. I mean, I'm not saying climb up a pole at night and beat a camera up with a baseball bat. I'm not saying go up on a corporate billboard and spray paint Infowars.com or DavidIcke.com. I'm not saying go that far like the founding fathers would have, David.
Yeah, the thing is, you know, we've got to reach a point now where one person's injustice and one person's imposition by the state is ours. So when one person is treated unjustly by the state for doing something, then large, vast numbers of people immediately do it. You know, a simple thing like you put your wheelie bin out on the wrong day, the council gives you a fine for £75. The next thing you know, the council is dealing with thousands of people putting their wheelie bin out on the wrong day indefinitely until the law's changed, or refusing to pay taxes to the council until the law's changed.
Well,
we've got to start doing this, otherwise we're just going to complain and moan and basically watch the prison being built, and more knowing it's being built and understanding how it's built, but actually still not intervening in the process of it being built.
Well, David, here's a quick example. I remember like 8 years ago, it was in Louisiana, big 5A school. People can look it up. It was in WorldNet Daily and the Associated Press and other places because I had some of the kids on. It was a high school, young men and women. And they just said, you've all got to wear ID badges around your neck. And first they showed how you could read the barcode and learn just viewing it what somebody's Social Security number was. So that showed that it was unsecured. And one girl said no. They expelled her. And then about 20 said no. They expelled them. And then like half the school said no. And they expelled all of them. And then they had to back off and remove it. And that's an example right there of saying no, no, no.
That's what we need to do. You see, we had a wonderful example in this country a few years ago, which I was actually involved in when I was in the Green Party.
National ID card.
Yeah, say again?
It was the national ID card, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was a Margaret Thatcher tax called the poll tax, which taxed people of high income the same as people of low income. It was a local poll tax. And this is the important thing, Alex, because it didn't just hit the if you like, the working classes, as we call them here, it hit the middle classes as well. The fault line was removed because there was a mutual effect on both groups. As a result, there was a vast movement in this country, which I was involved in myself, in not paying that tax, refusing to pay the tax. Some people went to jail because of it, but what actually happened was so many people didn't pay it, the tax had to be withdrawn, and it was a fundamental reason why Margaret Thatcher lost her power. So these are the things that we can do. The point is, oh my God, there are billions of us, and at the core, who know the big picture of what they're doing, there is a relative handful of the people doing it. I think I see a way out of this. But we have to unite, and we have to take a deep breath, and we have to stop being frightened of authority and realize that in the end, it's frightened of us.
Well, they're scared to death of us. I mean, look at how the system is trying to chill demonstrations, protests, trying to intimidate people. And now everybody can see that we're being looted, that the Treasury's being robbed, that trillions in debt's being piled on all our names, and it's an illegitimate, fraudulent debt, and there's no discussion in the corporate media of any of these criminals even being investigated or going to jail. Here we go, full audience.
Okay.
David Icke, quite a rebel, certainly an icon when you talk about the awakening movement, the waking life that we're all living here. We're always honored to have him on with us. As things quicken, as things accelerate and get worse a lot faster, I want to have David on more and more, and we respect his time, but it's just great to have him here with us because what he does is very important. He's been right about everything he's talked about coming true, and he gets people to really get outside the box in his own own way, very well spoken and comes at things from a great angle.